The Enigma of the Sith Vault. The earthquake had been felt across the galaxy, but on the remote planet of Tevra, its impact was particularly profound. Settlers there spoke of an ancient tremor beneath the earth, deep and unsettling, as if the planet itself groaned with some old, forgotten agony. After the shaking subsided, something impossible had risen from beneath the rocky plains, a Sith Vault etched into the cliffside. Smooth, blackened stone covered in alien runes and carvings, half buried in the dust of ages. Archaeologists, bounty hunters, and treasure seekers flocked to the site, curious and drawn by whispers of the dark side. It wasn't long before they found something truly disturbing. Dotting the exterior of the vault were holes, perfectly carved, humanoid in shape but misshapen in odd ways. Elongated arms, twisted torsos, malformed heads. Each seemed to beckon, an unnatural invitation. Veda, a young explorer with more curiosity than caution, stood at the edge of one such hole, her breath shallow. The shapes reminded her of the ancient Sith legends, those whispered in fear. They were not merely decorative, she realized. They were meant for something, or someone. But who? Her comlink buzzed, breaking the trance. "Veda, do you see this?" Tan's voice crackled through. He was the lead scientist on the expedition. "There are hundreds of these, openings, each different, as if they were designed for individuals." "Yeah, I see them. It's..." Veda trailed off, feeling her gaze pull back toward the vault. Something deep within her stirred, a voice not her own whispering at the edges of her mind. "I have to go in," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. She didn't know why she said it. It was as if the thought wasn't hers, but placed in her mind, an irresistible suggestion. "Veda, what do you mean?" Tan's voice was tense. No one should go near this thing until we understand it. But she couldn't listen. She stepped toward the closest hole, one that seemed to fit her slender frame. The pull was undeniable, a sensation beyond compulsion. Her fingertips brushed the cold stone, and her heart skipped a beat. The shape, it was perfect for her. A chill ran down her spine as she slid her hand into the hole, feeling the stone contour perfectly around her. Without thinking, she began to slip inside. The stone was cold but welcoming, like it had been waiting for her all along. As her body disappeared into the vault, the dark whispers grew louder. She felt the presence of something ancient, something that had long slumbered within the planet, now awakening. And then nothing. The days passed, and one by one, the other explorers began to feel the same pull. Like Veda, they found the holes that seemed crafted specifically for them. Some resisted at first, but the whispers were too strong. They entered willingly, their bodies vanishing into the darkness. Tan watched, helpless. He had lost almost all of his team. He himself had been tempted, though he fought it with every fiber of his being. But the longer he stayed, the harder it became. The vault seemed to breathe, its dark energy filling the air. The whispers grew louder, clawing at the edges of his mind. One night, he awoke to find himself standing in front of his own hole, elongated and warped like the others, yet unmistakably meant for him. His legs trembled. He could almost feel the stone welcoming him, pulling him in. Sweat dripped down his face. No, he had to resist. He had to. But as he turned to flee, he saw something in the corner of his eye, a figure stepping out of the vault, barely visible in the moonlight. His heart raced. It was Veda. "Veda!" he called, relief flooding his voice. But as she stepped closer, his relief turned to horror. It was her body, but something was wrong. Her limbs were twisted, elongated in unnatural ways. Her eyes were empty, dark voids. The thing that was once Veda opened its mouth, but no sound came out, only the echo of the whispers, louder now, as if spoken through her. "They are here," the thing that was Veda mouthed silently. "And they want us." Tan stumbled backward, tripping over the rocky ground. His heart pounded in his chest. He turned to run, but he could feel it now, the same pull that had claimed the others. The Vault wanted him too. He ran toward the shuttle, but the ground trembled beneath his feet. The Vault seemed to groan, shifting as if alive. The whispers became deafening, drilling into his mind. He fell to his knees, clutching his head. "No!" he screamed, but it was too late. The compulsion was unbearable now. Slowly, Tan stood and turned back toward the vault. His legs moved of their own accord, carrying him toward the waiting hole. As he approached, he saw more figures emerging, twisted, misshapen bodies of those who had entered before him. Their eyes were empty, their mouths twisted into silent screams. Tan's breath caught in his throat. He couldn't resist anymore. His body slipped into the stone, the cold embracing him like a long-lost lover. Darkness swallowed him whole, and the last thing he heard was the Vault's whispered promise. "You were always meant to be here." Weeks later, a new expedition arrived on Tevra. They found the Vault, silent and still, but they didn't find Tan or his team. All that remained were the holes, still beckoning, each one shaped perfectly for someone yet to come. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the galaxy far, far away. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. For more exclusive content and to support the channel, check out my Ko-Fi page at ko-fi.com/tales from the Holocron. May the Force be with you always.